Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to National Australia Bank's 1993 Ethnic Business Awards, coming to you live from the Sheraton Wentworth Hotel in Sydney. Your host for this evening, Mary Kostakidis.
Welcome to you all. Tonight marks the 6th year of the National Australia Bank Ethnic Business Awards, a very special annual celebration of the achievements of multicultural Australia. All around us, countries outside our comparatively safe continent face threats to their racial diversity. And while euphemisms like racial cleansing and repatriation whitewash violent acts devastating lives in so many lands, Australia cherishes the effectiveness of its multicultural population. We have become one of the world's most egalitarian societies. In this spirit, we've embarked on a process to redress the disenfranchised position of our Indigenous population, while continuing to welcome people from other countries. Tonight, it's in that spirit of welcome that the National offers the Ethnic Business Awards to Australia's more recent residents, and I'm delighted to take part again this year. We're reaching our largest audience ever through SBS and throughout Asia via the Australian television service. And we're simulcasting Australia-wide via ComradSat, the satellite network of the Community Broadcasting Association of Australia. Whether you're picking us up on television, radio, or with us here tonight at Sydney's Sheraton Wentworth Hotel, you'll meet some of Australia's newest business leaders. They all have good news stories to tell, and we'll be giving you a look at these fascinating and optimistic stories of achievement. And now I'd like you all to join me in welcoming our very distinguished guest, who a little later in our program plays an active and important role, the Minister for Immigration and Ethnic Affairs, Senator Nick Bolkus. A few words about the background to the awards. In response to a census showing that 20% of Australians were born overseas, the National Australia Bank created a competition to recognise the outstanding business achievements of people who came to this country wanting to be Australians. The National conducts the awards annually, honouring any Australian citizen or permanent resident not born in Australia who owns and operates a business here. This year, business has been classified into two categories: manufacturing and non-manufacturing, with entrants considered from every state. The judges, faced with the awesome task of assessing many an impressive case history, are of course distinguished Australians themselves. And down there in the hot seats, multi-award winning fashion designer Gala Zampatti. Co-founder of Westfield, chairman of the Terrace Tower Group of companies, John Saunders. And honorary president of the Chinese Cultural Association of New South Wales, King Fong. And SBS's own Sir Nicholas Shahady is here, I'm sure, in spirit tonight, though he unfortunately can't be with us. We also thank Joseph Asaf from Ethnic Communications, who has created many bridges between our various community groups. Let me now introduce to you the National's Chief General Manager, Alan Diplock.
Thank you, Mary. It's great to be here on what promises to be a very exciting night. Senator Bolkus, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, one of our entrants in this year's Ethnic Business Awards described his business achievement as daring to be different. Daring to be different. It's got a nice ring to it. But more importantly, I suggest that most successful ethnic business people are successful precisely because they do dare to be different. And tonight we'll meet some of those people. Behind what are now becoming successful, well-established businesses are stories of people who dared to defy convention, dared to try something new, dared to set new standards in service, in quality, in value for money, dared to place trust in the ability and enthusiasm of the people who worked for them. But above all, they dared to believe that Australia remains a land of opportunity for those prepared to have a go, work hard and deal fairly and equitably with people. The 1993 National Australia Bank Ethnic Business Awards recognise and honour the contribution made by migrant-owned and managed businesses of all kinds, businesses that dared to be different. This evening's presentation is a culmination of a great deal of work by many people. In particular, I want to thank the various state and national panels, judging panels, for completing the challenging task of selecting the finalists and the ultimate winners of this year's awards. And on behalf of the National, may I wish all the entrants the best of luck.
Thank you, Alan Diplock. Now to the awards themselves. We've divided the business world into two categories, the first being non-manufacturing. How many times have we all noticed a need for some service or other and thought this is a great chance for some clever person? Well, here are some of the bright sparks who had the courage either to fill that gap in the market or to create a demand through clever promotion. Western Australia's Ord River Valley was one of Australia's most ambitious developments. Let's green the desert, make it the new fruit bowl of the Southeast Asian region, the experts suggested. Problems, though, persisted. Severe pest infestations, unbearable heat, few skilled workers, no roads, markets or transport. A stark contrast indeed to the green German farms Wilhelm and Gabi Blöcker had left behind. Yet in just 8 years, the Blöckers tamed acres of inhospitable land to grow speciality produce. Bothkamp Australia Farm has expanded into a multi-million-dollar business now exporting to Asia.
We started in 1985 with 80 hectares and we are farming 800 hectares now. We grow as field crops maize, chickpeas, sometimes sunflowers, and as horticulture crops rock melons, watermelons, white and yellow honeydews and pumpkin.
Hey. Apart from looking after 4 children, I run the administration and do the marketing for the produce. The main reason for our success, first of all, I would say very good farm management. Secondly, very hard work. Thirdly, using latest technology, whether it's laser leveling or whether it's new machinery. Using new varieties with the melons, knowing what the market wants.
We grow in the winter when only North Queensland can grow to that time. 10 years ago, it wasn't impossible to buy a rock melon down south at all. We created that market. The turnover of the farm has increased roughly by 6 times, and it's now a multi-million-dollar business. I hope our success will show other young families that you can run a successful business up here in the Ord.
From the Ord River Valley, farmer Wilhelm Blöcker. I wonder how many of our viewers will be eating pizza while watching our program tonight. Perhaps it's from Pizza Haven, Australia's fastest growing delivery and takeaway franchise, making a delivery every 6 seconds. If you're experiencing déjà vu at the mention of the Christo brothers, you're quite right. Phenomenal growth has earned them a place in our finals 2 years running. That expansion continues, with plans to take their high standards to many other countries. If Evan Christo has his way, Australia may experience a pizza-led economic recovery.
Pizza Haven began in South Australia in 1994. We started with 4 brothers, and the 4 of us stuck together through hard work and determination to achieve what we've got today. Each one of us looking after different parts of the business. And we'll do everything possible to make sure the product is consistent whether you buy pizzas from Glenelg or down in Liverpool in Sydney. We deliver to all places, the wineries, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, we'll deliver to the trams in Melbourne, we'll deliver to the Gold Coast, we'll deliver anywhere you can think of. And anywhere you can get, the product will be the same. Pizza Haven, it's an industry which provides a lot of employment, and it's an industry which is growing, and I believe it's one of the fastest growing businesses in Australia today. By Christmas '95, we plan to have Australia covered with approximately 240 stores. New Zealand will certainly be coming probably in the next 12 months to 18 months. And we have a lot of inquiries from other countries in Southeast Asia, China and Europe. As a family, we are very, very proud. And we always reflect back and say where we were and where we are today. And it makes us, it's a sense of achievement, and we're very proud of it.
Pizza Haven's Evan Christo. When Victorians wanted to play the poker machines, Greek-born Chris Kafritsis drove them there, meticulously maintaining a high standard of coach safety and comfort. His passengers quickly became regulars. Value for money local and interstate travel built Chris's coaches into a business as sleek and as impressive as the logo on the side of each bus.
Something, you read Centre Trip. Is that any good? Is that going up to Alice Springs?
Alice Springs, that's a good trip.
That's fabulous.
Yes, it's lovely.
I might take that next year.
We're going to do everywhere. We got Cairns, we're all around Australia. Well, we are because we gone ahead very good in my business, because we're working honest to the people and give a good service. That's why the people come back to us. Yes, the Pocky tour was starting, I think, in 79 or 90. We started with one bus. I think when we started, we used to give them $2 a head to fly, to start with.
We wouldn't have anybody else because they're very considerate, kind, and look after us in all ways we want to go.
I started in 1977, 27th of November. I bought 2 little buses there for $13,000. I was driving 12 hours a day for 2 years, up and down this little street. I was carrying some Thursdays and Fridays 900 people a day. I was working right through the meal breaks. I never had a break. If God gives me medicine and it keeps me younger, I could expand more on my business.
I know where the sun shines best.
From Chris's coaches, Chris Kafritsis. Now for some competition. Our next finalist is also on the buses. Croatian-born Bob Bosniak owns Australia's largest private bus company, Westbus. Surprisingly, it operates not just well over 300 buses in New South Wales, but 8 buses and 24 coaches in England. If you live in Sydney's western suburbs, you may have caught his latest innovation, the Nepean Nipper service, which collects and drops people off at any point along the route. Such lateral thinking has pushed his annual turnover to more than $41 million.
There's one thing about buses, once you get in them, you can't get out of them. Been in them now 38 years. I was 15 years of age when we bought the first 5 buses at Adenza Park. My job at that time was greasing the buses, washing them. Our second acquisition, which was the Parramatta Bus Company, which had 28 vehicles, run-down vehicles. And I recall my late brother John and myself used to work up to 18 hours per day, 7 days a week. The coach operation is a very diversified operation. We are relying on tourists, school children that travel long distances, pensioners that go on excursions, and I think that is one part of our business, but I think it's a lot harder to operate, and you need a lot more expertise in that particular field because of tourism that comes into the country. The bus operation itself, we service 4,000 school children per day. We carry over 25 million passengers per year, adults, pensioners. The minibus operation is called haul and ride. In other words, they operate the same route as a big bus used to, but not necessarily the people have to be on a bus stop. They can be anywhere and they just haul, put their hand up and the bus will stop. And it's a very different business to probably a lot of other businesses because you're dealing with thousands of people. Every day is an interesting day.
From Westbus, Bob Bosniak. Qualifications gained by Chinese-born Jonathan Siu in the 5 years since he migrated to Brisbane suggests great tenacity. Through his company CTM International, Jonathan has put his knowledge of electronics, computers and business to some inventive uses. He recently launched a Chinese bilingual colour newspaper, the Queensland Asian Business Weekly. But mostly, Jonathan's complete computer company wholesales and exports hardware and peripherals, and CTM's computer ambulance combats terminal illness with the greatest efficiency.
In business, right, I like to follow the old principles. That is quality of the product, quality of the staff, and servicing for the customers. Staff is a very, very important element in running any kind of business, especially in today's environment. Teamwork is a must for whatever business. We are very keen to encourage our staff to studying degrees or to attend different kinds of seminars. From time to time, we send them to our suppliers' place to receive trainings, and some of them are even in overseas. But we believe this is an investment to the business. The idea to run a newspaper is for trade activities to create awareness. There are many Australians, they want to do business with Asian communities or peoples. Of course, they can conduct these sort of trading activities on a person-to-person basis. But if they have a newspaper to broadcast their need, and it will help to speed up the whole processing.
From CTM, Jonathan Siu. you have it. 5 intriguing non-manufacturing finalists. Perhaps you've already made your choice. Here's another choice for you to think about in our second category, manufacturing. Imagine moving to a new land, finding a market for a product and setting up a viable operation. For many of us, it's difficult enough just reading the street signs in a foreign country, let alone wading through the regulations, contracts and systems associated with starting a new business. But that's just the beginning of the achievements of our manufacturing finalists. And our first is from Western Australia. The beautiful, internationally coveted timbers of Western Australia, especially she oak, are the raw materials on which multi-award-winning Ardino Gossetti has built his company. Rather than sell the timber, the Inglewood Products Group have created value-added specialist woodwork products. Dino's products even go back to his native Italy, truly opening doors to world markets.
Woodwork is the oldest trade in the world, and to be competitive you have to have the latest in technology. At the start of the 1980s, many of the joinery shops like us, due to the aluminium windows competition, started running out of orders, and I did not want to take the same road and perhaps closing my workshop. I started looking at export. In Western Australia, we are very fortunate because we have unique woods such as Jarrah and she oak. We automated the production line, and we are using the latest in computer technology to design individual doors with a wood available nowhere else in the world. You have to have guts, determination to invest in this sort of equipment. Australian businessmen will need to invest in modern machinery if they want to succeed. This is a family business, and perhaps my greatest joy is my 4 sons now work in the business. We export 35% to Europe, Asia and the Middle East. Our doors now grace some of Australia's most imposing buildings.
From the Inglewood Products Group, Ardino Gossetti. What do you need to put on your Inglewood door? Perhaps a couple of hinges from our next finalist, Trio Hinging. Peter Demoudzidis took on world exporters in 1990 when he decided it was time Australia stopped importing hinges. Peter Demo, as he's now known, invested in a German-made high-tech hinge-making plant and set a fast track to local hinge independence. Gradually, Trio Hinging won back for Australia 80% of the orders which previously went to overseas manufacturers.
Sport and business, the same analogy applies. I suppose you need a good coach, a coach that can think strategically and at the same time can pick the right team members in the right spots and strategically think for the future and can see the niches in the market. And I think Trio was one of these companies. Hinges was an import product. A lot of the Australian manufacturers seen it too hard to be manufactured in Australia, so everyone went for the easy road, everyone went importing. When I come in, the company was a small company with $200,000 turnover. So the first thing that I did, I put a business plan together. I come to a conclusion that I need to get into a technology. Technology was the way for the future, and it was the way for me to compete with the Asian countries because of the low cost of wage. And now today we are in the situation that we've got 50% of the Australian market, and we have stopped all the importers.
It's about your limit, pal!
My dream and the way I see Trio would become one of the leaders not only in Australia and in the world.
Congratulations, Peter Demo of Trio Hinging. Here's a story of incredible optimism conquering adversity. Faced with retrenchment, Indian-born Malcolm Pryor mortgaged his house, established Priority Plastics, and moved energetically into the field of high-tech, blow-moulded plastic container manufacture. Soon his award-winning bottles were seen Australia-wide. Malcolm now makes over 40 million sturdy, corrosion-proof bottles annually, many of which use recyclable plastic.
We have a saying in the company that no matter which oil you use in your car, the chances are it'll be packed in our container. We have 120 people. We operate 35 machines. We have 35,000 square feet of area, and we produce in excess of 40 million containers. I lost my job when I was about 39 years of age, and I thought it'd be difficult to get another job. So we mortgaged the house for $60,000, bought one old machine, and my wife and myself started operating it. I used to start the machines up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we used to work till about 8 in the evening on most days, and that's how we started. We tend to give a customer good service, a good quality, at a reasonable price. And whenever they want us, we're always available. Being a small company, we can react much faster than other large companies. We are looking at the moment, replacing 20-litre metal drums in the oil industry. I think the oil industry uses about 5 million metal drums a year. We don't chase growth. We don't knock it back, but it's a very steady growth. We pick our markets, we work on it for a few years, and if it's successful, then we try something else. But we try to keep in our own industry rather than just pick anything in the plastic industry.
Malcolm Pryor from Priority Plastics. Italian-born Nicola Cerone had the desire to become a master jewellery craftsman, but first needed to overcome that most common stumbling block, the English language. He now speaks the language of diamonds and pearls, and so eloquently that he's impressed many wealthy international buyers. While there are old-fashioned values here, loyalty, trust, teamwork and quality, Nicola is one of Australia's most adventurous jewellery designers.
At the beginning it was very difficult because I didn't know anything about jewelry, but through the years I understood the art, and I understood the prestige and the love of this job, and that's when I took it very seriously.
Wow.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
It's a very challenging job because you never stop learning, and it's only because you've got to keep up with the fashion, you've got to keep up with the trends, you've got to always to come up with something totally new all the time. My wife, Carmela, has been very supportive. She understands the long hours, she understands the sacrifice towards our business, and she's a very good judge in whatever I do, in my decisions. The Chironi necklace has been a very high climax in our industry. It is the biggest piece we ever made in this country. It is worth $1 million. We made that to promote the Australian diamonds in Seville. I'm very proud of my work because it's totally Australian. We're using Australian diamonds, Australian gold, Australian gems, and we have the best talent in the world here. We have the best country in the world, and we can be amongst the best in the world.
Congratulations to Nicola Cerone of the House of Cerone. When the old Bundaberg brickworks went up for sale 19 years ago, Sante Troiani bought it. The real estate had great potential, but the company was ailing, with 6 people's jobs at stake. Their fate worried Sante to the point that he revived the company, renaming it Wide Bay Brickworks. He taught himself the brick business, gleaning techniques from many countries. The result? A product responsive to local needs. And now they're exporting specially designed bricks to Japan.
We can produce up to 47, 48 million bricks per year. So we produced over 227 different type and size. We are satisfying a lot of people today by blending the different clays and matching colors which cannot be done any longer. If you want to be in business, you must expand and research the technology and new product. We introduced the color C brick because you can reinforce the brick within the brick with the steel and concrete, and that gave us the facility to use that product in an high wind area and will stand the wind up to 234 kilometers per hour. Already the first 2 months this year, the exporting compared to last year is already 40%. So we can see this year an increase, enormous increase in the export market. We just made a special brick for Singapore, which has already been delivered there. They're doing some testing at the present time. We asked about the Japanese to make a narrow paver, which has been produced this morning. I feel we are doing well. I'm very happy the way the company's traveling. Sure, at my age, probably overstepping doing this huge expansion, but I feel pretty sure that myself or my future people running the place will be successful.
Congratulations, Sante Troiani of Wide Bay Brickworks, the last of our finalists tonight. Occasionally in our lives, we're privileged to be in on the ground floor when a young musician is beginning an illustrious career. Tonight may well be such an experience for all of us. Simon Tedeschi, Australian-born but of Italian origin, has already impressed music lovers here and overseas. All this, and he's not yet into his teens. We're thrilled to have him play for us a special solo arrangement of Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. Absolutely fabulous. Simon Tedeschi with Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. Many thanks, Simon, and good luck with your future career. Shortly, we'll be announcing the grand prize winners, one in each category of manufacturing and non-manufacturing. Each will receive a beautiful crystal trophy and $5,000. But first, we have two other very important awards. Firstly, the Productive Diversity Award, given to a business which maximised its competitive potential by drawing on the benefits of Australia's ethnic diversity. The essence of this award was set out by the Prime Minister in August last year, when he pointed out that our diverse and open society had huge economic potential. If you've followed the Ethnic Business Awards over the years, you may have noticed the incredible range of the companies involved. We've had everything from builders to bean sprouters, but the single most common quality was the ability to predict a trend, perhaps not generally tried before in Australia, and fill the resultant market need. This year, the winner of our Productive Diversity Award embodies many of these elements. To present the award tonight, the Minister for Immigration and Ethnic Affairs, Senator Nick Bolkus.
I'm delighted to be here tonight to present the National Australia Bank's first award for productive diversity in business. When the Prime Minister launched productive diversity as a concept, as Mary mentioned, some 12 months ago, he said that Australia is now poised to make the most of a unique asset. This asset is made up of the language and cultural skills, the intimate knowledge of markets and tastes across the globe, the familiarity with diverse negotiating styles and business practices, and the personal business links available to multicultural Australia. For every country which constitutes a potential market for Australia, there are Australians who know their way around, and many of you are here tonight. We need to make the most of every advantage that we have as an open, export-oriented, outward-looking economy. 3/4 of our exports currently go to non-English speaking background countries. The more we shift from selling commodities to selling sophisticated goods and services, the more we need to utilise our diverse language and cultural skills in both product design and in marketing. And of course, the more we need entrepreneurship and Australian companies willing to develop the diverse talents of their workforces in partnerships for profit. The Keating government has been working to encourage companies to take advantage of our ethnic diversity. The Prime Minister has asked our trade and industry departments to seek out Australians who can help our enterprises sell their products, their services and their resources throughout the world. And the Office of Multicultural Affairs in the Prime Minister's own department, in partnership with the Committee for Economic Development of Australia, has been convening a series of business forums to encourage greater awareness of the advantages inherent in our ethnic diversity. Something, of course, which the founder of these awards, businessman Joseph Asif, and the National Australia Bank have recognised for some time. They obviously know their market. Let me now introduce the inaugural award winner. He exemplifies perfectly what the productive diversity advantage is all about. We've heard much about the importance of our export effort and to our export effort of those companies born global. Well, no one is more born global than our Australian migrant entrepreneur. And nobody embodies the born global productive diversity spirit better than the inaugural winner. The winner is Fred Tan from Texana Proprietary Limited.
If you're a born nibbler, then it's odds on that you'll already have come in contact with the products that Fred Tan and his family company Texana Proprietary Limited make in their Campsie factory. Fresh tofu, soya milk, healthy soya snack foods and other bean products were always taken for granted in Fred Tan's country of origin, Malaysia. And now, thanks to Fred and his 7 years of enterprise and investment, Australians have their own local supply. He converts around 600 tonnes of soya beans, previously ground up for cheap stock fodder, into crunchy soya crisps and a whole range of bean products. As the range of top-quality Asian foods has expanded, so has the market responded with a steadily growing demand. And Fred's taken his product success a step further. Texana Proprietary Limited is now exporting more than $1 million worth worldwide, including Lebanon, Japan and Canada. The fact that the snacks are high in fibre and cholesterol-free has created great consumer interest, but some people, well, they're just completely hooked on the taste.
Congratulations, Fred.
I'm honoured to be here tonight to accept this award on behalf of all my brothers who are partners in my business. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my staff in Texana for their hard work and dedications. Many thanks also to National Australia Bank for sponsoring this award. Thank you.
Fred Tan of Texana Proprietary Limited, congratulations to you and your very industrious family, and our best wishes for your continued success in the future. And thank you, Senator Bolkus. Tonight, we've heard some great stories of endeavour, of entrepreneurial spirit and good ideas. It's rewarding for us all to share in this good news. And it's news that our second special award salutes. The National has great pleasure in presenting the inaugural Ethnic Media Award, recognising an outstanding contribution to Australia's ethnic communities through the media in a language other than English. I'm very pleased to announce the winner of the 1993 award, Ethnic Media Award. Congratulations to the highly successful national Vietnamese daily newspaper, The Sunrise Daily, and the award is accepted by National News Editor Vietnamese-born David Young. Years ago, the newly arrived David Young launched Australia's first and only Vietnamese daily publication, The Sunrise Daily, from his home. Just a few pages and circulated monthly, it was intended to provide unity and solidarity to the growing Vietnamese community, most of whom had been uprooted suddenly and unwillingly from their homeland. With a philosophy of helping the community, contents included cultural matter, announcements and information of use to Vietnamese Australians. Daily circulation is now 98,000, and there are also 2 tabloid magazines a year. And here's an interesting twist to Australia's export record. In 1986, David Young began the first daily Vietnamese newspaper in the USA, and just 1 year later established a monthly magazine in Paris. An impressive example indeed of how Australia shares its culture with the world. Editor of The Sunrise Daily, David Young.
Thank you, Mary. Minister for Immigration and Minister for Ethnic Affairs, members of Parliament and members of Legislative Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the daily newspaper, The Sunrise Daily, I would like to thank National Australia Bank for recognizing the diversity as well as the contribution of migrants and refugees into our multicultural society. Our credit goes to the government, both in federal and all states, for the caring support which have been shown to us during our 14 years of establishment. And to all our new Australian Vietnamese viewers at home, may I say, well, đây là vinh dự mà Nhật báo chiêu dương đại diện cho cộng đồng Việt Nam. Thành thật cảm ơn quý đồng hương. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, editor of the Sunrise Daily, David Young. In a moment, we'll know just who will take off the grand prize in the category of non-manufacturing. But first, let's remind ourselves of each nominee. Western Australia, a shining example of how up there in the north they've made a desert bloom. Boskamp Australia Farms Wilhelm Blöcker. South Australia, the Christos claim that the Greeks invented pizza, the Italians developed it, and the Americans commercialised it, and now we've perfected it. Pizza Haven's Ivan Christo. Victoria, we meet the man who has probably heard more sing-alongs on long journeys home than you and I will in a lifetime. From Chris's coaches, Chris Carfritzis. New South Wales, possibly putting up a challenge to that last claim from Westbus, the transport company dominating the western suburbs of Sydney, Bob Bosniak. And lastly, Queensland, looking after your computer from start to finish and from sales to service. CTM Group's Jonathan Sue. And the winner in our non-manufacturing category in the 1993 Ethnic Business Awards, from Westbus, Bob Bosniak.
Thank you very much. Mary, state and federal and state politicians, I can't mention them by name, I only know the ones that are on the top these days. That's the only one sometimes you need to know, but it is certainly a surprise for me to win this award. I feel like as if I'm in Hollywood and receiving an Academy Award. It is really incredible. Certainly, I thank the National Bank, but I can't thank them enough. Just last week I was reading the news, one of the financial reports, and they said the National Bank's going to have a record profit this year. And I certainly hope that you do make that record. Indeed, it is sad for me, on one part, the family that started this business originally, which was my father, my late mother, my late brother, with myself, they are not here today. And I owe so much to them because we all worked hard together to achieve it. And it's great when you have a country of freedom such as Australia that gives people an opportunity to make decisions, make things work, have a lot of energy, try a lot of different things out. And we're very proud that Australia does give us that opportunity, and I'm glad we as a family achieved that opportunity. The other thing I'd like to say, I noticed there was a little bit of opposition here from Chris Cages, but Chris, don't worry about it, I won't be coming to Victoria. We already got poker machines in New South Wales, so therefore I don't think the state government here, the Fay government, won't permit us to have poker machines in our buses here in New South Wales. Thank you very much for everything. It's nice to win. I think it is very hard. I think it was very hard for the judges to pick out the winners. The way I've seen it, everybody has done their best here in this country. When I look at these films here tonight, I think everybody deserves something, but there can only be one winner. Thank you very much for everything. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bob. The Nepean Nippers in particular is an example of lateral thinking serving a community need. With one more award remaining, let's remind ourselves of the state winners in the manufacturing category. Western Australia, a manufacturer making the most of beautiful local timbers in his finely crafted doors. From the Inglewood Products Group, Ardino Gossati. South Australia and the hinges made here have saved Australia millions of dollars worth of imports. From Trio Hinging Australia, Peter Demo. Victoria, turning retrenchment into a golden opportunity to create his own dynamic company manufacturing specialist plastic containers. From Priority Plastics, Malcolm Pryor. New South Wales, exquisite jewellery created with a spirit of individualism and great panache. From the House of Cerone, Nicola Cerone. Lastly, Queensland, and we meet a man who turned around a derelict brick company to save its staff from unemployment and is now exporting quality bricks worldwide. From Wide Bay Bricks, Sante Troiani. And the winner in our category of manufacturing in the 1993 Ethnic Business Awards, from Wide Bay Brickworks, Sante Troiani.
I don't know what to say. I cannot believe it. A brick was not my initial job when I came to Australia. Honestly, when I arrived here, I had an auntie in Bundaberg, and for 2.5 years I was cane cutter. I diversified in farming. I did almost everything that made a dollar. In '74, I bought a property which the owner said, if you want the land, you must buy the brickwork. And that happened. I bought a brickwork. I did not know a great deal about making bricks, but the intention was to push the old brick plant into the river because it was on the riverbank, and go and subdivide the land. But then I felt guilty. And I said, no, I cannot destroy a plant that's been here for 35 years, and I'm going to close. Me and the wife went to Italy we're going to Italy for 3 months to see my parents. So we changed our trip. We went to the United States, Canada. I saw probably a more brick plant than anyone else has ever seen, and manufacturing plant. When we came back 2.5 months later, I was going to build a new brick plant. Of course, there was many problems. A small manufacturer coming to the market, you just should not survive. But, the old saying, you work hard and stick together. My family, my brother, and we partnership. And of course, it was a very real hardship. But then, in '81, I designed a clay block. Everyone said it would not work. Mainly was because we could not sell bricks in North Queensland, and you can't sell, because of the high wind area, you could not reinforce clay. So I designed a clay block that could be reinforced. And that took 5 years to get into the market, mainly because the government regulation says a new product, the building code says so, and no, sorry. But in '87, of course, we came into the market, and we are, since then, we have produced many more new type of product, which we are sending to New Zealand, New Caledonia. This product really works for reinforced brickwork, reinforced for cyclonic and headquake. And we were in Italy last week, and I have appointed a distributor near Rome. So we'll have some in my own country in a very short time. And now I must, sorry, I left this later. Mary, thank you. Beautiful lady that presents everyone. And thanks to the National Bank, thanks to the ministers, thanks to the council of different country, thanks to my colleague, Agnes people, and thank you all. I just do not believe this. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sante, for taking that brave step back in 1976 and then having the tenacity to achieve results beyond all expectations. Well, may I wish continued prosperity to our grand prize winners, Bob and Sante, and not forgetting their staff, all of whom have helped them achieve that success. And my thanks to our special guest, Senator Nick Bolkus, for demonstrating such support for our awards tonight. To the Nationals' Alan Diplock, thank you, not just for your assistance here on stage, but for the bank's ongoing recognition of our migrant entrepreneurs. What does it take to be winners such as those in tonight's stories? Almost certainly every one of them was a true believer, having faith in their own ability to transform a dream into reality. It also takes a fair measure of chutzpah, or just plain old Aussie audacity. It takes the daring to sell newspapers to America or tofu to Malaysia. You also need, of course, a stable and liberal environment that allows people freedom to develop their individual talents. The result transcends recessions, giving Australians a reason to believe in a very exciting future. For this, thank you to our winners, and may all your endeavours thrive. And thank you for joining us. Good night.